Hey friends, Lori here. I'm back. So I'm here to do sort of a different video. I recently reorganized my whole bedroom and I was cleaning through all my books and sort of inputting them all into Goodreads and such. And I found about like 25 books that I just forgot that I owned. So I put them all on my TBR cart. So I'm going to show you how I use my TBR cart, what it looks like. And then I'm going to show you guys like the 2 layers of books I just forgot that I owned. And I think at some point before the end of the year, I am going to do like a reading vlog where I read the books that I forgot that were on my TBR. So I'm going to show you guys what my TBR cart looks like, and then I'm going to show you guys every individual book that I forgot was on my TBR, and they now live on my TBR cart. So let's get into it. So this is the top part of my TBR cart. I got this one from Michael's. This is the books that are on my immediate TBR. And then this is the bottom 2 shelves that I just did recently. So this is the first one. This is the second one. There's literally no rhyme or reason to how I organize these books. But definitely the top shelf is my main TBR. So let's get into all the books that are on my forgotten TBR. This should be fun and maybe a little bit embarrassing. So when I'm telling you guys the books, I'm going to tell you where I got them and how long I've had them if I can remember. So A Memory Called Empire by Andrew Martin is a Peruse Project Rex. It is a science fiction thriller, which I think I'm still going to read, and I obviously put it on this cart. I always struggle with adult books, adult fantasy, and adult sci-fi because I tend to get lost in the details. But Peruse Project made a really good pitch for this book, so I hope that I get around to it soon. The next book is Beasts of Prey by Ayana Gray. This is one that was sent to me from Penguin. I think I won a giveaway. And I have heard really good things. It's all about animals and like an animal like terrarium and stuff like that. And I love books that are a little bit different, and this seemed like it was a little bit different, so hopefully I will get around to it. The sequel just came out, so I'm a little bit behind. The Last Magician is a series that I literally own every single book in the series. I actually went to ALA and I picked up books 4 and 5, or 3 and 4 this year, so I actually literally have this whole series. It's a time-traveling story. Has been on my TBR since a very, very long time. This has probably been on my TBR since maybe like 5 years ago. I went to a book convention and I got this one signed by the author, and I just met her again. So this is just a very, very big book, and I think it just is a little bit intimidating, but I do want to read it. I do like time travel when it's done well, and I have heard really good things about this series, so hopefully I will get around to it. I also have sorry friends, that's the danger of filming when you have a cold. You sound like you lost your voice, and I did, because I talked a lot this week. So let me just review. York by Laura Ruby is a middle grade adventure series, which I got with my cousin when I was in Virginia for her bridal weekend. It is a middle grade story about twins set in New York City in 1795, and I'm really hopeful that I'll enjoy this. It may be one that I pick up relatively soon, especially because I've been reading a lot of middle grade because my focus has been so out of whack. And then the next book I'm going to chat about is Star Daughter by Shavita Thakkar. This is an Owl Crate book that I think I got like 2 years ago, I think, or maybe last year. The cover is pretty. It's like this one's purple themed. There, I think, was gold. And this is about a girl who's a daughter of a star. I think it's a standalone, which you don't really get in YA, so I'm excited to dive into this one. The Coldest Girl in Cold Town is one of the only Holly Black books I haven't read that I plan on reading, and this is like a vampire-themed novel, so this would actually be perfect to read around the fall because I've always saved it for fall and then I always get distracted. I have not found another vampire series other than Vampire Academy that I have truly loved, and I think if anyone can do it, it would be Holly Black because I love her writing, so I'm willing to give it a chance, which is why it's on this TBR. Cinderella is Dead by Kaylin Barron. This is her first book, and it's like a fairy tale inspired story, and I have read her other series, This Poison Heart, which is a Secret Garden retelling, and I love that. And I'm hopeful that I will get around to this one too. It's also LGBTQ+, and I've been reading a lot of those books recently and have really enjoyed them. And this was an arc that I got from the last ALA I went to before the 2020 ALA, before everything got shut down. So really excited for this one and hope I get around to reading it soon. Angel Mage by Garth Nix, I have had so long. I got this at the 2019 book event that I went to at Comic-Con. We had like a table where we met all the authors, and this just kept getting kept. Like, I just literally have saved this. It's a very, very dense YA fantasy. I don't know what it's about. I think it has to do with angel magic. So I have kept this book, and I really do plan on reading it because it's been on my TBR for so long. So yeah, this one's the one I got. It was one of those, yeah. So I don't know. This is a book that I've had on so many TBRs that have had so long. I just really need to read it. And then Circus Rose by Betsy Cornwall is in this queer retelling of Snow White and Red Rose against the backdrop of the glamorous circus. True love and sisterhood are put to the test. And it has twins in it as well, which I love books about twins. I might do a reading vlog that has to do with twins because I love reading about twins. Ironically, this story also has twins in it. It's called The Never Tilting World by Rin Shoobrad. This is a gift my friend Sarah gave me, I think. This is the same author that wrote The Bone Witch, which I have really enjoyed. And actually, I haven't read that, but I read her fairy tale series, which I really enjoyed. But this is like a science fiction series about two twins, and they're separated by different locations. Sounds really, really good. Another very, very thick chunker book, but I hope to get around to reading it soon. And then another Owl Crate exclusive is Hotel Magnifique by Emily J. Taylor. This is a book about two sisters that wind up working at this magical hotel and things happen. And I think this again would be a really, really fun book to read around the Halloween season. So again, this is another one. So those are all the books on my first stack. And now let's get into the next shelf. So the next stack of books, I'm also going to try to tell you where I got them. The little books, one is Renwall by Brandon Jacks. I read this so long ago. This was like one of my middle grade series that I read because, again, when I was in middle school, middle grade books didn't really exist. But I really like this because it had animals as the main character. So this is the one that I would love to reread and maybe keep going on with the series. It's also pretty short, so it might be part of a reread vlog I have planned, maybe in 2023. I also have had this book so long, but it's Zeros by Chuck Wendig, and this is like his spy thriller about a bunch of hackers that need to sort of like work together to save the world. Again, I don't have a lot of mass market paperbacks, and I did get this one at Comic-Con a long time ago, but it was signed by the author, and it's probably my one Chuck Wendig book that I'm really interested in reading. I don't have any other ones, but this one does sound really interesting. So it survived so many unhauls. This is one of the books that was on my Aruba TBR, and I just didn't get around to it, but it's Happily Ever After by Elise Bryant. And this is a young girl that like wants to write romance novels, but she doesn't feel like she has enough of a story to write a romance novel. So she sort of lets herself have like a relationship with a boy and hope it will inspire her. It sounds interesting and I want to read it. So hopefully this might be like a summer read, or maybe when it gets super cold and I like am dying for summer, maybe I'll read it. The next couple are all like fall themed books. So I kind of put them on here in hopes that I'll remember to read them. The Near Witch by B.E. Schwab is a book I bought last year. I got this signed as well by the author, but this was like one of her first ever books, and it is perfect for the Halloween season. But this was like a re-release for her. Witches of East Ash and Ruin by E. Lamar. This is a modern witchcraft blend with ancient Celtic mythology and a memorizing novel that's perfect for fans of Shade of Magic trilogy and the chilling adventures of Sabrina. I really like ancient Celtic mythology. I read another book recently about it. This one is another, was my last time I went to, I think this book I got at, it was either Comic-Con or at ALA. I think it was Comic-Con. But I've heard very good things. I heard the, anxiety and depression rep was really good in this as well. So again, hopefully I will read that this fall if I can. The only Riley Sager book I own is Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. I've never read a Riley Sager. People say that this is definitely their favorite by Riley Sager, so I have kept it for a while and I would like to read it. I'm not the biggest horror fan. Obviously it came from Book of the Month, but we will see. Hold Me Like a Breath is a Once Upon a Crime family book, and this is when I used to go to a lot of events at Book of Wonder and I would buy one book per author just because, but then a lot of them just never got read. I did unhaul a lot of them. This one just sounds so interesting. This is also the author that wrote the Bookish Boyfriend series, a little bit darker. I am curious how YA does Mafia. I have a couple of like adult Mafia books on my list, but maybe that would be a fun reading vlog. Read some young adult Mafia and maybe some adult Mafia and compare and contrast. This book sounds really, really interesting too, so maybe I'll get to read it soon. For the Wolf by Haddon Wooden, I wanted to read in the winter, so I might actually save this for like the fall, like the winter time, because it has snow. If we ever get snow days again, maybe I'll read it during a snow day. Another fall theme book is Eventide by Sarah Goodman. This I got quite a bit ago from Tor. I think I got this either at the last Comic-Con I went to, or it was part of a publicity package that they sent me during COVID, and I think they sent me like 6 books. So that might have been where I got this, but it's been on my TBR for a while. The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, I've wanted to read. It's been on so many TBRs. My friend Tiffany bought it for me, so I really need to get around to reading it, hopefully soon. Ace of Shades was a book that I got for myself. It also was it was an adventure reading book that I didn't wind up reading, and it is a thriller, but it does have a lot more to it. People said it gave them Get Out vibes, so I really do want to read it. And then The Midnight Girls by Alicia Jaskia. This is another LGBTQ plus story, but set in the winter. So I have a lot of winter books. I think I'm going to save these for the winter. I think I might reorganize my TBR cart for like some themed. But yeah, this one also Amy Kaufman recommended. So again, that's why it's here. And the angle changed, my camera died, and I just wanted to wrap up this vlog so I can get ready to post it. But a couple of books I neglected to tell you about was The Shadow in the Glass by J.J. Harlow. This is a Cinderella retelling. It's an adult read. It was part of the buy one get one 51% off sale, which at Barnes & Noble I always fall for. My friend Tiffany got me a nonfiction book, To Marry an English Lord, which is loosely inspired by the Downtown Abbey. This is like the book that they used to inspire that story, and I have really liked it, and I think it will be fun since I'm now a Bridgerton fangirl. And another buy one 50% off is A Pinch of Magic by Melissa Harrison. This is a middle grade read. Again, I've been reading a lot of middle grade. So yeah, let me know in the comments, are there any books that are on your forgotten TBR that you neglected that you own? And if you follow me on Instagram, I will show you guys my fall TBR on my TBR cart and my winter TBR. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, friends.